Good evening and welcome to Feel Good Talk Love 101. I'm your host, Charles Brakely, along with the host of Love 101, my brother, Naeem Najee. What's going on, Naeem? How you doing tonight, brother?
I'm excellent. How are you, Charles?
Hey, I'm doing great, man. I can't complain. Just busy, but busy is a good thing. So, other than that, I'm doing great, man. I can't complain. So what I'm going to do before we even get started, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor for the night, which is the A Game. So I'm going to put on this 30-second commercial about the A Game, and then we'll come back and we'll get started. How about that?
How about that?
Let's rock.
This is A Game, an all-natural herbal dietary supplement formulated exclusively for men. Our proprietary blend was designed with one goal in mind: to improve your overall health, rejuvenating your vitality, energy, strength, and libido. Want to be at your peak performance in everything you do? Then bring your A game. Fast-acting, long-lasting, with no side effects.
Oh my God.
And that is the A Game. Again, great for your vitality, energy, strength, and libido. It's also great for your immune system, especially at the times that we're living in now. With the COVID, this definitely helps with that and strengthening your immune system. So again, check it out, the A Game. Give me a call at 302-723-2836. Again, 302-723-2836 to get your free sample of the A Game. All right, Naeem, back to you. And what is the title for the night, brother? Or topic. I said title. I meant to say topic. I'm sorry.
Tonight we're talking about what you want to talk about, whoever's listening live tonight, because you already know me. I can go all day long by myself. I don't need an audience, but I want one, and I would like to have a conversation. So while you're gathering your questions and comments about all things relationship oriented, then I'm gonna talk about the facts of love and fear. So can you share this? And we'll
Yes, sir.
As always.
Let me see where you at.
People always talk about they want love, but they don't take the time to define what it is they want.
Right.
So
now, exactly. Now you said you're gonna share your screen, or?
I thought I did, but I guess it's not showing up.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, here it is. Let's see what we got.
Yeah, see, I was already ready.
Oh, okay.
All right, there we go. Showing, yep. Facts of love and fear. So we talking about on the right side with love. Screenshot this, y'all. Freedom. Love is freedom. That's what you want. You want freedom. If you want love, you say, I want to be free. I want to be free to be me.
Right.
Appreciation. You want to be appreciated and to appreciate because it feels good. You want to communicate and you want full, unbroken communication with all those you're in a relationship with. You want trust and you want to be trusted. And you want sincerity. You want to say what you mean what you say. So what do you not want? You don't want to be afraid, fear. You don't want attack or anger. You don't want conflict, trauma, drama, and separation. Now, all of these things are universal principles. That's the beauty of love and fear, is that they can affect any relationship. And you can bring this to any relationship. You can bring your conflict, or you can bring your communication. You can bring your fear, you can bring your freedom. The question is, though, what you're going to bring. Because anywhere on here, does it say love is sex? Does it say love is romance?
Nope.
Does it say love is, physical affection or any of that? No. All of that stuff can be, love can be expressed as romance, as sex, as physical affection, but so can abuse be used for in a romantic relationship or physical or sexual. So we're not looking for these things that are just superficial. We're looking for the overall universal thing. And with that said, any questions, any comments, any relationship topics, anything anybody want to discuss? Thank you all for listening, for joining.
Hey, we do have a comment. We have Nakia let me get that right. Austin. She says, hi, what's going on, Nakia? Thanks for joining. And if you have any questions, Nakia, feel free to ask. Like I said, we invite any comments or questions that you may have. So, Yeah, but again, Naeem, you were saying all these things about love, and we still, it's I don't know. Let me ask you, as far as how did you like manage to, because like I said, all of this is your work and it's awesome work. And I told you before, you always you give the universal principles of love. Just break it down how you sat down, I guess, and you figured all this out.
Well, I I kind of just collected. I didn't. I only put it in a certain presentation, but it was already available, meaning the universal principles. And now I'm
Okay.
hearing a little bit of echo in the background.
All right, let me turn this down then. Here you go.
Yeah. Um, but when I sat down, first started writing, that was December 24th, 2015 in Indianapolis, Indiana. And I started writing book Love is Not a Game, which ended up becoming three books. Love is not a game, trust is not a game, communication is not a game. Because I thought I was basically just sitting there asking myself questions like, what is love? What is love not? How does love behave? What would love do? What would love not do? What does love think about sex? What does love think about commitment? What does love think about romance? And as I was playing with these ideas, I wasn't just playing with them in my own head from just a place of just arbitrary, just whatever I think. I had a thought system. I trained and studied and learned a thought system that was offered in a book called Course in Miracles that talks about the universal principles of love and fear. And in the book, it calls it the ego. In my book, I call it the program or the programming. And I just did my best to put it in common language to write the book that my younger self wanted to read because I hadn't seen any books specifically talking about love and relationships that were clear. And I know in myself, I don't like necessarily reading a bunch of other people's stories about how they found love or what they think love is, what they feel it is. I'm like, just give me the nitty gritty, give me the straight up what it is and what it's not, so that I can have my own story and I can live my own experience of love. Like I don't need someone to tell me that love is found in sex or love is romance or love is when I was making money doing this thing. It's like just tell me what the principle is and let me gravitate to what works for me by with using the principle. Like someone says, hey, I'm a teacher, but what kind of teacher? You could be a professor, or you are an elementary school teacher, or you are a culinary teacher, or you're a coach, or you're a life coach, you're a sports coach, you're a business coach. Like, you know, I just you can be a, it's like love. How do I want to express love? Don't tell me that I have to express, like it has to be physical touch or time spent or this sort of thing. How do I want to express it? That comes down to me after I know the universal principle. So I learned the universal
Think Naeem broke up on us a little bit. Hello. All right, we lost Naeem, but again, keep the questions coming. We'll wait till he come back on again. I'm pretty sure he'll bounce right back in here. I guess he's having some difficulty as far as the computer or something's concerned. Oh, he just popped right back in. Let me see where he at. Okay, here he is. All right, there we go. All right, Naeem, we got you, brother.
All right. I lost connection over here on the other one, so I'm back on my phone now. So two is one and one is none. All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'll hear you real good. You're
Am
sideways
I
though.
upside down? Yeah. All right. Looks like we gotta do it like this then.
Yeah.
Okay. All good.
Mm-hmm. Hey, well, since you're there, we got another comment out there. Murd and Music says hello. What's going on now? How you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Feel good. Thanks for tuning in to Feel Good Talk Love 101. We definitely appreciate you. If you have any questions or comments, you'll feel free to share that with us. And he also says, how are you guys? We doing great. All right, Murd, thanks for tuning in. We definitely appreciate you. Thank you. We do have a question in the back, Naeem, and I want to get that out there right now. And it says, it's from HC Lovejoy. She's on vacation, still here on vacation. He says, unfortunately, people are afraid of the ideal of another individual's freedom. Please expound on that.
Yeah. When we hear the word, when we hear freedom, and can you go on mute? Yeah,
Yep,
because
that's
now the feedback is bad. Yeah. When we hear about freedom now, it's especially in romantic relationships, this idea of ownership and stuff comes into play, and this glare and this camera is just killing me. I'm trying to get away from it. All right, it's a little better. All right. So anyway, we think that another person is our property, and there's no easier way to say it. We think we own their time, their energy, their money, their life, how their other connections and relationships with others. And this is a very common thing, especially in romantic relationships, the insecurity. Who are you talking on the phone with? Who are you going to see? Because people learn to quantify and claim affection and attention like it's a belonging of yours. People say, I don't like to share. To share means what? It means you have to have what first? Ownership. I can only share what's mine. So when people say, I don't want to share, they're already saying, not directly, but indirectly, they're already saying that you're mine and I own you and I get to decide what you do, and I don't want to allow you to do that. So many false premises stacked up on top of each other. Because the truth is, what you don't want to hear is that you don't own anybody, not even your children, And I mean that, like, yeah, you caretake for them, you tell them what to do and all that, but if the state finds out that you are abusing them, you can't just go on abusing them. They're going to remove them from your household, right? So you don't own anybody. I mean, you have 100% autonomy over what to do with someone else, their life, their choices. You don't own anyone. The most you own is your own body. And other than that, we are very uncomfortable. Our programming is uncomfortable because we think that because a person's sharing themselves, let's just say their body, their sexuality, whatever, with us, that now that we own that and that we have a right to say what they can and cannot do with it. And that's just simply not true. And it's good to have a conversation with someone about where you stand with that, because of course, you can believe in things that aren't true. We can believe that we're entitled to say, well, I'm jealous, or some people will get real special and say, I'm not jealous, I'm just territorial. Well, territory is, again, something you own, and you don't own another person's body, their body parts, their sexual organs. You don't own anything on them or about them. And so that's the bottom line. And we're uncomfortable with that idea that people are totally free, which means they're free to be with you and they're free not to. Even if they married you yesterday, today they can say, hey, I never want to see you ever again. But they did get married. Like, they were free to marry you and stuff. You were free to marry them. They're also free never to call, text, walk away. Like, they're free. But this is something that's uncomfortable, which is why on the flip side, remember the A in facts is for what? Appreciation. Thank you. I saw your lips, Charles. Appreciation. So if we realize, like, I think, no, I don't think, I know freedom is a beautiful thing, because when you really see and know that someone's free, they don't owe you anything, you can appreciate, you can reach deeper into your appreciation for them, because you're like, you don't have to be here with me. You don't have to treat me to dinner. You don't have to talk to me. You don't have to pick up my phone call. You don't have to say anything to me, do anything. Oh, they didn't even say please or thank you. They didn't acknowledge me this morning. They don't have to. So that when they do acknowledge you, send you hey, I was thinking about you, a good morning text or message or whatever, they don't have to do that. But they send me texts every day, and then today they didn't text me this morning that good morning. They normally text me good morning. So what's the problem? There's no problem. They were just free to text you good morning 29 days straight in a row, and on the 30th day they just didn't.
and you don't even know why they didn't, but all of a sudden you want to make it about you and say, oh, something is wrong, or they texting somebody else good morning, or there's a problem, or they're mad at me. How about they never had to text you good morning even once? So you should be 29 times more grateful when you look back and see that they texted you 29 times good morning, or text you at all, because they don't owe you anything, much less a good morning.
Yeah, I think that communication, as far as the C in facts, the communication piece really comes into play, especially when you're talking about the freedom side. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people, that communication and understanding what freedoms, or what I guess, what you consider free, or how free are we going to be, or whatever. You know what I mean? So I think that communication piece is definitely a factor when it plays a part. As far as, I mean, I guess everything, everything in there. So again, that's my opinion on that one. And we do got 2 comments out there. Let me get these comments. And he says, Meriden Music says, thanks, man. And then Kendra Moore says, hey, fam, what's going on, Kendra? Thanks for tuning in. We definitely appreciate it. Hey, thanks, Meriden, for tuning in. We definitely appreciate you as well. And I don't know. That's my opinion on that, Naeem. How you feel about that one?
I feel good. Feel good talk. Feel good about it, John. But yeah, it's like specifically in romantic relationships, when you want to talk about how you're going to express yourself sexually and etc., like, talk about it. Like, just be upfront about it. Just let people know where you stand. If you want to be sexually or romantically exclusive or not, and then just at least talk about it first, so that you know where each other stands with that. Because again, freedom means you're free to do whatever you want to do and not do whatever you don't want to do. So when someone says, oh, they're all free, they're out here doing whatever it's like, well, everyone's free. You're so free, you can be free to imprison yourself. You can be free to say, I'm not gonna do anything except this, or I'm gonna do everything. Again, it's I don't know, it just sounds like saying the same thing over and over, because it's the truth that let's take it a little deeper, that freedom also means that you feel free to express yourself without being attacked in the relationship. Also, you feel free to just be who you are and not put on a show or put on airs or be a different person because you feel like the person is not going to accept you, or they're going to judge you for who you are.
Cool. Yeah. Hey, we do have a question in the back. Ruchi, I hope I said your name right. Says, I have a question. Can you talk about what you mean by conflict? When you have a difference, there will be a conflict, and perhaps it doesn't need be fear-based or negative. It seems that conflict can make a third way that is better than what each individual could have come up with on their own, if approached through communication. So I'd love to hear more about conflict.
Thank you for that well thought out question and response, Ruchi. Yeah, conflict, when we're talking about in fear, is the unnecessary conflict, meaning you're, again, like that example I gave where, you didn't text me good morning, and then you make it about you. Oh, what's the problem? Did I do something wrong? Now you're making it about you. You're making a conflict where there was no conflict at all. But differences, they're bound to happen. We're going to like different things. We're going to have different clothes, different styles. Just imagine dietary restrictions and things like that. Let's say 2 people are together. One is omnivore, meaning they eat pretty much anything, and the other person is a vegetarian or vegan, right? They're sitting across each other. They're going to be eating different things, but they're still nourishing their bodies how they're free to do that. But there doesn't have to be conflict there. It's like, why are you eating the mushrooms? What you want to be healthy for? And then another person's like, why are you eating them chitlins? Why you want to be unhealthy for? It don't have to be like that. It's just like, you eat what you eat, I'm eating what I'm eating. It's a conflict when you trying to go in my plate. I'm trying to go in your plate without permission and get your stuff, or I'm expecting you to feed me, or you're expecting me to feed you, and all that kind of codependent nonsense. That's when we're talking about unnecessary conflict. But as far as differences and variety is beautiful. You know, it depends on how you see it, but you can definitely you can use that to strengthen your relationship, because you'll be exposed to things in relationship with people that you would never expose yourself to without them coming in as that factor of variety and difference and saying, hey, have you ever tried this? Have you ever gone here? Have you ever listened to this song? You know, those are different things that you may not have ever dealt with or heard about, but it doesn't have to be a conflict. Hope that makes sense.
Yep, definitely. Hey, we also have one, Kendra Moore. She says 29 times more grateful. Love the way you flip the thinking of that. Hey, Kendra, I don't know where can you give us be more specific with that? Because we're lapsed like 20 seconds or 30 seconds, and I'm just catching you right now. So just
she's talking about the 29 times you text good morning, the example.
Okay.
Unless she talk about something else.
There you go. We got it now. Kendra. And Rich says, thank you, it does. So again, awesome. Hey, we got Dreddy Gal as well. She says, thanks to you both as always for doing this. Appreciate how you are talking and teaching about freedom. Loved, we are so free. We are free to imprison ourselves. Truth, preaching. Please share more about ways we express our freedom and how we imprison ourselves and attempt to imprison others with our expectations. Thanks.
Thank you, Dreddy Gal. I would like to ask that question. Could you leave it up a little longer to everybody also? Like, what are some ways, y'all? Some ways that we, my screen is small. I gotta look like a creep right here. Hold on. How we imprison ourselves and attempt to imprison others. Yeah. So how do we do that, y'all? How do we imprison ourselves and others with expectations? Any insights on that? You know.
Anybody out there? Or?
How about this? How about just with the question? And can you go on mute real quick, Charles? Because the feedback is crazy. And I'm still working on getting my laptop back up. We'll see what happens in a few minutes. But anyway, in the meantime, I asked you a question. If I expect you to answer, I'm imprisoning myself to one outcome. Now, love means non-attachment to the outcome, meaning not only is it not attached to the outcome, but every possible outcome is okay. That's the meaning of it's okay either way. Hey, Charles, you want to go to the movies tomorrow? You may say yes, you may say no. You may say, well, what movie? You may say, well, what time? You may want to ask a different question. You may say, well, maybe in the next day. All of that has to be okay. It can't just be like, man, you don't want to go with me tomorrow, so forget you, man. Forget you, man. Nah, ain't your friend no more, yo. That's attachment to the outcome. I'm only okay with you saying yes to this invitation. That's not love. That's imprisonment. That's expectations. That's limiting. But when it's okay for you to say yes, it's okay for you to say no, and take it even deeper. You ask somebody a question. So, you know, what you want to do later, or what's going on? You want to go out to eat with me, or what have you? Ask you out on a date. It's okay for them not to answer at all. It's like you text somebody, hey, how you doing? And then 5 minutes later, they don't listen. 10 minutes later, hour later, they still. A day later, I said, how you doing? Send. 2 days later. 3 days later, all caps. How are you doing? All separated with periods. How, period, are, period, you doing? That hurts my finger. Send. This is a problem because I'm expecting them that, like, again, they're free. They don't have to answer me just because I asked them a question. Even if you got the read receipts on, you know, they saw it, blah, blah. Even if they were sitting right next to you, like, how are you doing? Send. Then you look over, you see them. I see you see my message. How come you're not responding? Because they don't have to. That's why. Because they're free. That's why. So not making that okay. I think that's a very fundamental thing, is making it okay for people. I'm about to come in on the laptop. Making it okay for people not to respond to your question is
Okay, can you hear me? All right. So making it okay for people not to respond to you, not just in
Right.
the way you want, but to respond to you at all, is an expression of freedom. And an expression of limitation is when you think that someone even has to give you any kind of response at all. They don't. And then we got to read into it and be like, oh, well, it must mean that something's wrong, blah, blah, blah. It just means that they didn't respond to you. That's all it means. You making it mean all this other stuff because you want
Yeah.
to be selfish. That don't have nothing to do with you.
Hey, we got one more question. We have a couple more actually. A few more comments. She says, Kendra says, I think people fear freedom because they previously connected themselves with the wrong person. Therefore, they hold hostage the person who they are with presently.
I have a idea. Let me read that again. Because they connected themselves with the wrong person. Well, here's the thing. I offer this. You don't gotta receive it, except they're welcome. But I offer this. There are no wrong people.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is teaching you exactly the lesson that you need to learn in the moment. So if they're abusive, is it wrong that they're abusive? Or are you holding yourself hostage in a relationship where you are being abused? And you could extricate yourself. You could get away from that.
Hmm.
Are they the one that's really making you stay? Again, I'm not saying that in some cases that's not the case, where it's people literally forcing people to stay, but in most cases it's not. Most cases it's like you said, Kendra, holding yourself hostage to someone you're with because you've been with them or because whatever. And it's only wrong when it comes in terms of your purpose for being together. If your purpose is to love and appreciate each other, and that's not happening, attacking and abusing each other, or someone's attacking and abusing someone, then you're on the wrong path. You fell off. And if that's not going to be corrected immediately, then yeah, you need to get up out of there.
Hmm.
But at the same time, a lot of times, why do we stay hostage to situations, or rather hostage ourselves, because no one else is forcing you to stay there? We hostage ourselves because we think that we have the power to change someone. I was
Yep.
asked a question in a class earlier today about, falling in love with someone's potential and the
Mm-hmm.
person, and falling in love with the potential rather than the person, etc. And if we say love is acceptance, then you can accept the person as they are. That's love. You can appreciate them as they are. But if you're like, I want you to be this millionaire, and you're not a millionaire right now, but I see you as a millionaire. So you have so many great ideas. You have so much ambition. I know that you're going to make a lot of money, and this is what you're attracted to. This is what you're attracted to and attached to. You actually dishonoring the person you're in the relationship with, because you're saying, I will love you, accept you, as long as you're someone that you're not. They're not a millionaire right now. You're saying that they have to be a millionaire in order to have your love? Well, your love ain't worth nothing, because it's not love. Love is for everyone equally all the time. What you're offering is imprisonment and specialness and scripts and value judgments and expectations and entitlement and attack. I love you to be a millionaire. I love that part of you. I love that you have so much potential. We all have potential. Just because we do or do not reach or attain the type of outcome that you think that they should attain, or even that they said, oh, I'm going to be a millionaire in 3 years and so and so. Not just it would be more beneficial to your relationship to accept them where they are, how they are, appreciate them, trust them, be sincere with them, millionaire or not, no millionaire, right? Because if you're only saying, well, Charles, I love you if you take that hat off, I see a potential of you with the hat off, and that's what I love. And it's like you're saying, well, forget you right now as you are. I want you to be something else, somebody
Right.
else.
Right.
So back to Kendra's point, you connect yourself with the so-called wrong person. In a deeper way of thinking about that is, everybody is your teacher. Your learning lessons, your relationships are your classrooms. And if you're with an abusive partner and you are still there and you can leave, then they're teaching you because you think you can change them. And oh, they're gonna be nice today. They only broke 2 ribs. Last time they broke 4. They're getting twice as nice because they're twice as nice because they broke 2 ribs instead of 4. You're crazy. So then they're teaching you that, number one, you can't change them, you can't stop them. They're free to attack you, but you're also free to live, free to leave, free to live, free to have boundaries that you enforce for yourself, instead of relying on their potential to be this outstandingly affectionate, caring, gentle person that they're not being, at least not with you. But you're in love with this potential. And yes, they do have the potential to be a caring, outstandingly gentle partner. Right now, they're breaking your ribs. So what are you going to do? That's the question.
You know what, Naeem? I see that a lot. I see a lot of people, try to change individuals and try to make them who they want them to be. I see that more often than none now, because I don't know. It's like it's the times. I guess I see a lot of that happening. Like, it's always someone trying to change that person. Oh, I can make this person do this. It's a challenge to them. You know what I mean? It's crazy. But I see that all the time now, more so than I used to. Enoch Jones says overthinking. Okay, he was talking about something that we were talking about earlier. And Nikhil Austin says, speak that truth.
That's what we're here for.
Hey, that's right. We got some questions in the back, but Callie Soul, she says she only, hold on, wait a minute, make sure I got the right one. I don't know, Nine, can you read these back there? Because I can't.
I only want holy relationships.
Because I can't, yeah.
Freedom, appreciation, communication, trust, sincerity.
Mm-hmm.
And it's easy. How about this, y'all? How about we bring that? It's easy to bring that. Like, right. Listen, I'm free. I'm gonna be myself. I want you to be free. Be yourself. Because here's a misnomer. Hey, I free you, Charles. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I free you. That's kind of like going on safari or something and pointing at all the animals. Like, you see those birds in the tree there flying around? I freed them. See those lions running around? I freed them. You see the clouds in the sky? I freed them.
Right.
You didn't free nothing. It was already free. You never owned it either. Just because a bird, I like to give this analogy. I call it analogy of the bird. I made it up. Feel free to share it. Let's just say you're going somewhere. You're not even going somewhere. You're in your home. You're doing what you're doing. You open your window. It's a nice day outside. Beautiful bird comes in. You have some snacks or whatever. They come into your window ledge, and the bird is sitting there singing a song. It comes in the room with you. It's not afraid of you. It just stays with you. You give it some snacks. It eats out of your hand. You're having a good time enjoying this bird. And then the bird later on that day has a good time. It leaves. Next day, you leave your window open. Bird comes back. It plays with you. It has fun with you. All that. The next day, it comes back. 3 days in a row, this bird has come. It's just like, wow, I'm getting used to this bird company. This bird sings beautiful music, beautiful songs. It just plays. It has a great time. It's good to be around. 4th day, the bird doesn't show up. You're like, oh, what's going on? 5th day, the bird doesn't show up. You're like, well, maybe something happened to the bird. I don't know. 6th day, the bird shows up. You're like, oh, the bird's back. Oh, thank goodness. It plays with you. It's in your space. You're having a good time. It comes back. The 7th day, you're like, well, if the bird comes back, I didn't like how it felt when the bird wasn't here. So you go out, you run and buy a bird cage, right? And you're like, I didn't like those 2 days when the bird wasn't here. I like the bird's company. I want the bird to be with me. So you buy the bird cage. The bird comes in. You put some of his favorite food in the cage. It visits you on that 7th day. And you're like, oh, come in. And it goes in, you slam the door. You're like, yeah, now I got you. Now we're going to be here and have fun forever. And it's going to be great. Just you and me. And yeah, this is the way we think about relationships. Those 2 days that the bird wasn't there, what were you doing? Worrying yourself. You weren't just appreciating the 3 days that it came to spend with you, the time that it came to, freely come in and be with you. You're sitting there worrying, where's it at? Maybe it's at somebody else's house. Maybe it's got lost. Maybe it's got stolen. Maybe it's got attacked. Maybe it's got hurt. Then we'll trick ourselves. I got to protect this bird. This bird doesn't know how to live without me. It needs my help. It's probably coming here because it's hungry. I'm going to make sure it always eats. So I'm going to keep it in this cage. And this is how we do relationships. It's a little more, I'm not going to say sophisticated, but it's a little more sneaky than that. But that example is pretty much how we see relationships. We think that we own somebody and we try to trap them. When we think that they are supposed to be with us when they freely come and go. And we also freely allow them in and out. If you even closed the window and didn't let the bird out, if the bird ever got out again, do you think it's going to want to come back to you? This bird is used to being free. It's a wild bird. It's a free bird. It's not a domestic bird. And it came to you because it wanted to be with you. And in those times that you were enjoying each other's company and the good energy, happy, playing, having a great time, freedom, appreciation, communication, all of that, trust, sincerity, then the bird just doesn't come one day for its own bird reasons. Not your business, human. You want to now trap the bird when it comes back. That's not love.
Right. Hey, man, that was awesome analogy, brother. And also, Dreddy Gal, she appreciates that as well. She's a great example with the cage bird. Yeah, well, definitely. I like that. So, yeah, you spoke it, brother. I mean, that's true. That's true. Very true.
That example is so good. First of all, I made it up. I'm taking credit because I did. And it's great. It's so good that I told a friend this example 5 years ago. And they told me this example about 6 months ago. And they said that they came up with it. And I never corrected. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, I was talking about the example of the bird. You know, example.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, that's a great analogy, man. I'm like, you didn't make that up.
Hey, he has the freedom to steal your analogy now.
He does, and it feels like it actually. I feel great about it. Like I appreciate that he's received it so deeply that he forgot that it came from me. And you know what I mean? Because again, it's just an analogy, and like it don't matter who it came from. It's to communicate a point. It's to make a point and deliver a principle in relatable terms, right? So that's the whole point. I don't care who, I've made it up, but I don't care who takes credit for it, except I did, but I don't care.
Hey, I can see the comments in the back. For some reason, I couldn't see them before, but Richie says it's like when you get someone a present you want to keep, it's good. So
yes, like that's how you know it's good when someone believes they own it, right? Inception. Good movie.
Okay, he changed. That's how you know it's good when they believe it's their own. Okay, he changed it back here. Okay, cool. But yeah, exactly, man. I mean, I see that. You see that all the time too, So yeah, that was an awesome analogy. I like that one. So let's see what we got here. All right. Hey, listen, what we can do is I could tell everyone how they can get in contact with us. You can get as far as Feel Good Talk is concerned. We're on LinkedIn at Feel Good Talk. We're on Facebook at Feel Good Talk. We're on YouTube at FGT Mind, Body, Soul, and Business, and we're on Instagram on Feel.GoodTalk. I want to give a shout out to those that's listening on I see a lot of people listening on the YouTube, so we definitely appreciate that. Thank you for tuning in, and welcome. So again, man, hey, awesome conversation, Naeem, and like I said, I love how you break it down, your analogies, and that was awesome. So.
Oh, thank you, man. Do you want to do the halftime sponsor thing while we wait for more questions or comments? Because again, this is a conversation.
Oh yeah, no doubt. We can go right into commercials. It's a 30-second commercial. Excuse me, I don't know something on my throat today. This is the A Game. It's our sponsor for the day. Like I said, check out the A Game and check. Well, actually, they'll let them tell you who they are. Here they go.
This is A Game, an all-natural herbal dietary supplement formulated exclusively for men. Our proprietary blend was designed with one goal in mind: to improve your overall health, rejuvenating your vitality, energy, strength, and libido. Want to be at your peak performance in everything you do? Then bring your A Game. Fast-acting, long-lasting, with no side effects.
Oh my God.
Again, that is the A Game. That's the male herbal supplement. Again, it's good for your vitality, energy, libido, and strength. It's also great for your immune system. I have a few more free samples left, so give me a call at 302-723-2836. Again, 302-723-2836 to get your free sample of the A Game. And this is for men only, ladies. So we will have something for the ladies eventually coming up. But right now, this is what we have, the A game. So back to you, my man, Naeem. What's going on?
Well, I'm gonna share some of my screen. Uh, Not right now. I'm gonna share in a minute and we get things pulled up because I guess I'll share some of my books and such. We got a book about dysfunctional relationships, abusive relationships called Cult 101 here. Understanding cult mindset and behavior. And cult is just a code word for abusive relationship. An abusive relationship doesn't just have to be physically abusive. It can be financially, emotionally, verbally, all types of ways. And that's the cult model. Cult standing for controlling, unloving, lying, and traumatic. That's what a cult does. It traumatizes you. That's what happens with us in our relationships, because just like any vehicle, you got to learn how to operate it or you're going to crash and burn. It's like someone said, "Hey, I got this Learjet for you. Here are the keys. Go ahead and take it for a flight." Would you just get in and do that? I mean, it's capable of a lot of things, but unless you have your license and you know how to do that, you're going to hurt yourself,
That's right.
and same thing with a relationship. They're vehicles that we can use to get us very far and very fast and do a lot of major healing work in, or we can hurt ourselves in them. It's
Hmm.
up to us.
Hey,
Um,
we got another question in the back right here. If you want that, Naeem. Ruchi
right.
says, another question. I with you on freedom. We are free in each moment to choose as we do. Yes to freedom. I would like to know what you think about the word promise.
Promise. Good question. All right, so something for you on that. Let's see here. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna pull this up. If you could just share my screen. Okay. So in my book, I like in my books to use a lot of alliteration. So in the preface, we got the prelude, we got the preface, we got the purpose, we got the premise, and then we got the what? The promise. The promise of this manual of trust is not a game, offers you true trust. This manual is unlike any book about trust you ever read or heard about. Now, I would say this is another conversation about content and form, where when it comes to promising something, for those of us listening, this is how you should give promises. You should only promise things that are universal. That's what you can count on. I promise that it is my uh, it is my intention and my purpose to love you, to recognize your freedom, to appreciate you, right? But to promise you that I'm gonna give you that $5 back, Charles, I don't know. It might just mess our relationship up because you never know. I mean, might fall on hard times, might forget. You don't know. So be careful with promises on tangible things. Like, I promise I'll always be there for you. I promise I'll call you. I promise I'll talk to you. I promise I'll write you. No, those kind of promises they kind of beg expectations, like they kind of bring up expectations, because you said you'd write me and you haven't written me. Now it's a grievance that didn't have to be there. If you had just kept your mouth shut, if you wanted to write the person, just write them, and then don't say you're going to write them. You know what I mean? Or don't promise you're going to. It's different to say, hey, I want to write you more often. That's different to say, I promise I'll write you more often. Promises are unnecessary pressure that we put on ourselves, especially for things that cannot be counted on, like anything you're going to do or say or what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. What we do know is this. I lost my page, but it's going to come up. Yeah, I lost my page. It's the facts of love and fear: freedom, appreciation, communication, trust, sincerity. This is what you promise. What I can promise you is that this is what love is, and this is what it's not. And I can promise you that this here is going to come up in our relationship. Now, how are we going to deal with it? Fear, attack, conflict, trauma, separation is going to come up, but we can also find a way to deal with it like responsible adults. and to be committed to training ourselves, just like a pilot would train before they fly you in a plane or fly themselves. Train before you get in a relationship and think that you know what things are just because of how you feel in the moment. I feel so connected to you, so I know we'll always be connected. No, to stay connected to someone takes some effort, even if it's just thinking about them a certain way. Because you can think about someone a certain way and feel instantly disconnected, right? Oh, you're a liar, a cheat, and a thief. Now you feel disconnected. Like, oh, you're an honest, um, wonderful, beautiful, trustworthy individual, right? So practice thinking about them a certain way. So here's a promise of, I'll say all of my books, but this one is about trust. This manual promises to teach you how to identify the blocks to trust in your relationships. It promises to show you how to have those blocks removed easily. Promises to show you another way of looking at trust in relationships. It promises to show you the program's version of trust, why the program's version of trust fails every time. In other words, how not to trust. It promises to show you how to have trust in all your relationships. In other words, how to trust. And it promises to offer you practical tools in which you may apply to any relationship. And it promises to save you time. I think that's good enough for a promise. The book fulfills those promises. If you use it, you'll see that happens. So thank you for that question.
Yep, that's awesome. Hold on, I think he might have. Oh, he says thank you. Thank you, Ruchi. We appreciate you. Thank you for that comment, that question.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So hey,
I want to go back to something Enoch
awesome
Jones.
conversation. What's that, Naeem?
I said I want to go back to something Enoch Jones said about overthinking. The
Okay.
principle is that overthinking causes fear. Instead of making a decision, undivided, clear decision about something, that saves you time, and it's direct. It's decisive. But being indecisive and overthinking causes you fear. Just think about it. We often like to know what's going to happen before it happens, right? Oh, I don't know if I'm going to, if I go on this relationship with this person, if it's going to be good or not good. So I'm going to just keep one foot in, one foot out. I'm not going to really, commit to the whole experience. I'm going to just be a little scared. Look, the only way you can really find out if the path you're going on, you come to a crossroads, if it's the one that's going to work for you, is if you go down it, or if you know enough by looking down that path to know that it's not. But if you don't know, don't overthink. Just choose one and go. And that way, if you walking down this path, like I was promised that this path was going to be smooth and peaceful, and next thing you hear gunshots and fires and stuff, you're like, this is not the right path. And you just run back and get on the other path, right? Don't be like, oh, I don't know, it could go this way, it could go, maybe I think that one, but I don't know, but this one looks really good. But I don't know, I got the mixed reviews on this. Just go. Live your life, because what you're going to do when you're indecisive, you're going to waste time. And you don't have time to waste. Come on. 2020 showed us that we don't have time to be wasting out here.
That's true. That goes right with that saying, think long, think wrong.
Yeah. Thank you. Anything else, anybody? It seems to be a quiet day in Georgia.
Yeah, quiet day in the neighborhood today. Hey, let's see. Yeah, anything? Nah, everybody's a little quiet today. Okay. Wait a minute, we got one more comment. We got LaVie Board. She says, hello everyone.
Hello.
What's going on, LaVie? Definitely appreciate you. Definitely appreciate you tuning in. And if you have any comments or questions or concerns, definitely hit us up. We're here for that. So again, hey man, like I said, always great, Naeem, to hear have you break everything down to us. And where can people find your books at? Because like I tell people all the time, this is all your work. Again, this is all written by Naeem Najib. And again, definitely check out his work. Where can they find all your books at, Naeem? Hold on, I got you here, brother.
Share my screen. I'll show you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you are sharing it. So I just type my name in here. You'll see my books come up. Daily Step System, Communication is Not a Game. You click on my name on one of these here, and it'll show you all the books. and things of that kind that come up. And so yeah, you'll find me if you look, and simple as that. So type my name in, and you're on mute.
I'm still talking all of you. She also says she heard from Nakia Austin. Oh, thank you, Nakia. Thanks for tuning in, Lavi. We appreciate you. And she said, "I will thank." So again, we definitely appreciate all the love here, right here on Feel Good Talk Love 101.
Like what she did, Lovey, like Lovey, like
Lavi, yeah, Lavi. I'm saying it right. I can't mess up a name, Lavi or Lavi. I don't know. So just hit me up and let me know, because I do jag up some names. I tell you that I'm good for that. So that's one thing I can say.
like I said, you can't be mad at somebody for being consistent. So
Yeah,
like,
I'm very consistent. So that's one good thing.
you know, people are like, "Hey, that person's a jerk." It's like, but they're a jerk to everybody. So why are you? They're a liar, but they lie all the time. So why
All
are
the
you?
time. Right. You know what
Like,
you're gonna get. Right.
it's when people are inconsistent. It's like the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. You don't know who you're gonna get when you
Uh-huh.
open the two. What's gonna happen? That's scary.
Right. Oh, there she is. She said, yes, it's La Paul's V. La V. All right. We got you. I like that. Definitely. Hey, if you haven't done already, go like that Feel Good Talk page, and check out the different programming we do have on here. So, again, thanks for tuning in, La V. I got it now. Yes. Hey, we got some question in the back right here in the private chat. And HT Lovejoy on vacation says, what is the best way to get out of an abusive, toxic relationship? That's an awesome question, HT Lovejoy. And I'm going to let the love doctor go ahead and do what he does.
Well, I'm gonna answer it like this because I normally be like, just leave, like come on. But then the question is, why are you there? And there's only one reason why you're there. And I'm gonna give a 5-second pause for dramatic effect. See if y'all understand why you're there. There's only one reason. So we got 5, 4, 3. What is it? 2, 1. Guilt. That's why you're there. You feel guilty. The only reason you're there is because you feel guilty to leave. And the thing you need to do is accept that guilt. Know that you're going to feel guilty. Know that when you do decide to break things off, change things, move on, whatever, say no, you're going to feel guilt. You're going to feel like crap. And that's okay. You're innocent. You're free. What the question really is what is the best way to end a relationship or, abusive talk? Because when you're in it, you don't really acknowledge how toxic it is. You really can't even really see how toxic it is until you're out of it. And you really like, I know sometimes you're like, I know I should leave, but what you're not saying is, how do I leave and not feel bad about leaving? You don't. You go ahead and feel bad and you still leave. All right, make it okay. It's like, I'm gonna feel like crap. I'm gonna feel like I'm abandoning this person. I'm gonna feel like they're gonna hate me. I'm gonna feel like I don't, I'm the worst person in the world. I should have waited. I should have stayed. You're gonna feel all those things, but what you know is that you should leave. So first thing you need to do is do a mental checkup and say, okay, I already know I'm steeped in guilt with this. This is why this is gonna suck. It's kind of like going through the, going through the fire or what have you. And it's worse than it's worse in your mind than it really is when you just go through it and get to the other side. So accept that you're gonna feel like crap for leaving, escaping, letting it go, and then after you're done feeling bad, guess what? You're gonna feel good again.
In most cases, you're right. Escaping. You said the right word, escaping, because that's what you're doing half the time, especially if it's a abusive relationship. And La Vie says, excellent. I guess I said her name right. I feel good. I'm gonna pat myself on the back. Bop, bop, bop. And Nikia says, La Vie doesn't know the topic. She came in later. But the topic's at the bottom of the screen. It says, Love 101. Feel Good Talk Love 101. Ask the Love Doctor. That's the topic. Open conversations about love and relationships. So we know it's a 20-second delay, so we'll sit back and see if you have anything for us, La Vie. And
this is your show, everybody. It's our show. I'm here to, it's like a open public consultation. So feel free to ask whatever questions. Be like, and we already know it's you, but you're like, my friend wanted to know about how to get out of a toxic relationship. So I'm asking for my friend, but we know it's you. But anyway, let me say, tell your friend, meaning you, this is what has to go down, right? So just ask whatever it is. But
I don't know, Naive. I mean, some people do. They will say, but I got what you said. Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Hey,
I'm
we
just
got a
I'm on here. I'm on here for a friend too.
okay. We got a question. Lavi did come back with a question. Awesome. Okay. She says, in this day and age, how is one to date when everything is built to be dishonest? Mm.
Can you expound more on that? What do you mean
Okay,
by
and then she has it right here. Maybe she did specifically with or I guess you meant with communication and everyone just wanting to hook up instead of to get to know each other.
So you mean like virtual electronic,
Yeah,
text,
e-communication, right.
email,
Electronic.
social media?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is a good question, La V. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
pause, sort of pause. So it's the bottom line is most people don't know how to get to know someone else. All right. You gotta start there. We don't. We kind of have an idea that, oh yeah, it might take some time, effort, energy, but I understand what you mean when you say things are built for dishonesty or what have you. They're definitely built for distraction, meaning these devices and things that they're built to really make your connections with people superficial and quantifiable and you know like marketable. Like, I want to see how many likes I can get. I'm not going to post what is really going on with me. I'm going to post what I think the algorithm is going to pick up and give me the most likes. I'm not going to send my real selfie. I'm going to take 50 selfies and pick the one that's, seems like the best. I'm I want I want the external superficial validation, and that is of course dishonest in terms of you're not showing your real self. And we already know that, though. So social media is not necessarily a real snapshot of someone. It's a highlight reel in most cases, and so we know that. That's fine. That's fine to know. Now, the question is, oh yeah, filters. Don't forget the filter. Don't forget you gotta click filter, put the thing through different types of 10,000 different algorithms, and then have you looking like somebody totally different and everything else, right? And it's all available. But once you know that, the question is, how do you get to know someone? Well, I like that question because I was actually thinking about writing that book. I actually started in my head writing a book that's going to be called something like How to Get to Know Someone. Like an actual guide about how to get to know someone. And with this immediate gratification culture, we unfortunately have been duped into believing that you can really deeply connect with someone just from scrolling through their Instagram, just through jumping in their DM, just through text, just through a couple conversations. No, you will not. And even if you could, do you know how? Do you have the attention span, right? Do you are you able to, do you know the right questions to ask? Or are you being sincere? Are you just asking the questions and showing the highlight reel that you think they're gonna like? Right? I'm gonna do online dating and show a bunch of pictures of myself 50 pounds ago, and then I have that as, who I am now. It's like, that's not honest, right? But guess what? Someone is gonna appreciate you exactly for how you are, where you are in life, how you look, your finances, your education, your looks, your mind, your body, your everything. Someone, many more than one. And so having the courage actually is where we start, having the courage to be able to reach out to people and invite a different type of conversation. When COVID started, I started, in March, reaching out to people that I already knew. And there I just said it. You said it too, Lovey, especially with COVID and so much separation. So I was just gonna say, when COVID started and all the the separation and etc. and the what's it called, the I forget what it's called when you don't allow people curfews and stuff. I just went on a e connection rampage. I started reaching out to people, my text, my phone, all kind of, and then just inviting people to have conversations with me. You can find that on YouTube, Love 101 Media, and that's how I met Charles too. We met through a online entrepreneurship mixer event, and I was just trying to be a part of as many virtual events, groups as possible to connect with people and to also deliver something of value to the world as well. So, and in doing so, like we got to know each other long before we ever met in person, right, Charles? You know, it was like 6 months before we even met in person. And you can do that. You can be honest with your electronic devices. You can be honest on
Right.
social media. You can be honest with online dating. You can be honest on Zoom. You can be honest in text. You can be, but you have to make an effort. You have to be courageous enough to put yourself out there and not worry about how people are going to receive you, because a lot of people won't. If people are that superficial that they don't even want to go past text with you or just, this sort of thing, or then good. At least it reveals itself early on. So Treddy Gal says, great book idea. Thank you. And yes, quarantine, that was the word I was looking for too. Callie Soul said, what do you say are the top 5 boundaries for whole relationships? How can we honor our freedom within boundaries? Now, physical boundaries have to be your own specification. Like you may have a boundary like, don't look at my phone or what have you. Like you can have your own boundaries, but I'll give you the top 5 boundaries, and you actually said it yourself, Callie Soul. If you would share my screen, Charles. And I'm going to say it in conversational form, but I'm going to read it. I'm going to just look. I'm going to stay right on this right side of the chart. Your number 1 boundary should be that under all circumstances, you are free and honored in your freedom to be exactly who you want to be and show up exactly how you want to show up in your relationship with whoever. And you are appreciated for who you are and how you're showing up, in that you are communicating together, communicating that to the person, they're communicating that to you, that there's trust in your good intentions and trust in who you are, and not which necessarily the promises, the things we say out of our mouths, but how you show up. There's trust that you mean well, and that there's sincerity, that you're being not dishonest, but you're being honest and sincere. Someone. So your boundary should be, anytime someone's trying to limit you, and wrong answer. Anytime you're not being appreciated, and wrong answer. Anytime the communication is off or there's no effort in bringing clarity and or confusion, wrong answer. Anytime there's suspicion, and wrong answer. And anytime someone's trying to just manipulate or say what they think they need to say in order to get what they want from you, instead of being who they are, being sincere and saying what they mean what they say, and wrong answer. Those are the boundaries. So sincerity means I'm saying what I meaning what I say. So when you find someone saying something and doing something else, then that's another wrong answer. So those are the boundaries that I would say are universal. Now, Levi says, amen. Callie Soul says, is there even such a thing as a healthy boundary in whole relationships? Absolutely. Absolutely. They are. And we just went through them. And Ruchi says, we're placing so much emphasis on why people don't leave abusive relationships, when another question is why someone abusing someone to begin with. Where's their responsibility to the facts? Right. Well, here's the thing. There's a lot of reasons you can go back and find out why, the specific root cause and childhood trauma that someone went through, but it all stems from lack of love. It's all a call for love. Even when someone is like a bully and someone who's being bullied, it's all a call for love and attention and appreciation. Now, when someone is happy and joyful and fulfilled, are they a bully? Are they a miser? Are they greedy? Are they stingy? Are they abusive? No. They feel abundant and generous and expansive and happy and joining, and so there's a lot you could say about why they're not doing that, but it all comes from that. Some wounding that they think that by, like, for example, an abandonee is like, well, I was abandoned, so I'm gonna just abandon, or that's what I learned, or you live what you learn, all that sort of thing. And but the thing is, you don't have to accept that from anyone, and it's not your ministry to cause people to learn the lessons that they're here to learn. Because maybe your lesson, because remember I said there's no wrong people, maybe you're here to teach someone that I'm not going to try to change you, but I'm also not going to accept abuse from you. I'm going to step away from this. And I care about you, but I'm also not going to do the healing work for you. I can do it with you, but I can't make you heal, make you loving and appreciative and all that other stuff and communicate with me. I can't make you do that. Because don't you know, people, that that's just as emotionally violent as the other side? Meaning, I'm going to, like, someone's an abandoner. They're always abandoning me. So I'm going to make sure they don't abandon me. I'm going to put a tracker on their phone. I'm going to, if you could, put a handcuff around their leg so they can't go away. I'm going to make sure they never leave. I'm going to do, but I'm being dramatic, but what you do in order to try to get that cuff secure is like, I'm going to find out everything they like, and I'm going to do it the way that they like it better than anyone, so that they want to stay around me all the time. And then you find that that doesn't work, and it's still abandoning you or not paying you the attention you want. And then you get enraged and insulted and like, but I did everything. I gave them gifts. I showed up. I did this. I applauded for them. I did all this stuff, and they still are not giving me attention because you, unbeknownst to yourself, are still being an abusee. Except you're trying to be a controller on the back end. You're trying to manipulate, be Pinocchio with the string. You're trying to get them to behave in a way that they'll stay with you, instead of just like the example with the bird. If the bird wants to come in your window and play with you, just leave your window open, let it come and go as it pleases. But if you close your window, you try to lure the bird in and keep the bird in, you're just a bird hunter. And just because you're giving it food and have a big space, it may be the size of a gymnasium, but that bird is used to being able to explore the whole world. And you're limiting it because you think you know what's its best interest is for it to stay in your little environment and have your little food and your little attention when it's free. And so you're just as bad as the person. I'm not going to say as bad, but your mindset is the same as the person that says that I'm going to physically attack you and make you do this. And you're saying, no, I'm going to be a little more sneaky. I'm going to find out everything you like so that I can make sure you stay with me no matter what, because nobody's going to prepare the favorite meal the way I do. Nobody's going to, pay you as much attention as I do. Nobody's going to track your phone the way I do, right? So it's the same thing. Freedom is freedom. And you're not responsible for someone else's trauma or drama. So take responsibility and focus on yourself and your own healing and join in with those who want to join with you. Can't force nobody to do nothing. And Rushi says, that's right. Thank you. What we do matters. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes.
Hey, Naeem, awesome advice, man. Awesome stuff here. Okay, we looked at that already. I just thought he said it has something in the private chat for us. But any final words before we get out of here, brother?
I just want to say, let's take full responsibility, everybody. Thank you for listening. Here's my final dramatic reenactment of how people want to be a victim. They're like, this is the story. Charles, my partner, they keep punching me in the face. They always punch me in the face. Here's the fist right here. They like, every time I go over there, like, watch. Oh. Stop punching me. I'm coming. Oh. Like, it's just right here. You're like, no. You keep running into the thing that hurts you and
right.
accusing it for hurting you.
Yeah.
If you start a fire and you put your hands in it, Whose fault is it for getting burned? You all know what fire does. It burns.
Right.
You put your hand in it once, we can overlook that because maybe you didn't know. But if you put it in again, that's on you. All right. Somebody's abusive. They come out like you didn't know that they had anger problems or whatever. You didn't know that. But if you stay there and that's a reoccurring thing, that's you doing it to yourself and using them as the instrument and the tool to attack yourself. So let's take some responsibility and stop blaming it on people who are traumatized and hurt, because we all are. And now it's just time to take responsibility for that. Because to sit here and act like I don't got trauma, you don't got trauma, we all do. But we also, just like someone giving up an addictive substance that they may be on, you're not going to eliminate the substance from the world, whether it's drugs, alcohol, whatever. But you can decide how you're going to interact and relate with it. You can change. And what we do matters, as Ruchi said. You can change your relationship to it. You don't have to change the nature of the thing. And you can't. So stop. Just stop. I'm done.
Awesome, brother. Hey, man, thanks for everybody for tuning in. We definitely appreciate you. Again, this is Feel Good Talk Love 101. I'm your host, Charles Brakely, along with the host of Love 101, my man, Naeem Najib. Catch us next week, the same time, 7 p.m. right here on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. right here on Feel Good Talk, Mind, Body, Soul, and Business. We'll see you next week. See you when we see you. Peace.
Peace.